This most recent incident has finally opened my eyes to see how much I look. Oh, no. This most recent incident has finally opened my eyes to see how much I look down upon the Renans. It feels so terrible. That's okay. I'm just glad you were able to be honest and admit it. What really matters is that we both do our part to protect and work toward the dream of true coexistence here in Menancia. With that, I think I'm done with the rounds. So now we can move on to the new place. You know, the max level in the game is like 99. And I'm just like, it's hitting me that I'm only level 26. I feel like I've been playing the game a long time, but it's an anime game. I know these games aren't done until I hit the 140 hours. Oh, what are you forcing me to? We gonna bump into Kisara?
After all that, Kisara never came back to see us.
I'm surprised she slipped away without us noticing. Where would she even go? I hope this place survives. You think the Danins and Renans have a chance of getting along? We didn't really do much to change things around here, did we?
This realm had its own walls to overcome. And in the end, it was the people themselves who decided to break them down, without any help from us. I hope they keep going. I really do.
Yeah, well, if you say so, I guess. Huh?
All right. I leave command of the Gold Dust Cats in your hands.
You've got nothing to worry about, Kisara. I'll do your brother proud.
Looks like it's time to go. Take good care of Zare for me. All right, Legil?
You've got it. Stay safe, Kisara.
Did you come to say goodbye?
Actually, I was wondering if you could use another companion.
Huh?
Well, we certainly don't mind you coming along. We just figured you'd stay behind and help rebuild. These people could use you.
I thought much the same thing. However, in the end, something changed my mind. Ever since Miguel died, I've been thinking a lot. About where I went wrong, what I should have done differently. You know, that sort of thing. It's true that our dream of coexistence saved many Danan lives, but we were naive and short-sighted. I was so wrapped up in my idea of how things should be that I didn't see the problems that existed right in front of us. I thought we had been given a utopia. And so I never bothered to look too far past its surface. I chose to be ignorant. And because of that, because of me, my brother...
Miguel's death wasn't your fault, Kisara.
Perhaps you're right. But in the end, it was me he entrusted this dream to. I learned that nothing in this life is free, or gained without sacrifice. Now that I know that, I'll just have to figure out what else I don't know.
So, decided to join us?
I have. And hopefully I can continue to protect Elda Menancia from outside the dream world, for the sake of those still inside.
And here I thought you joined for an opportunity on my life.
In all honesty, I'm grateful to you. I truly am. I don't blame you for what happened. But I must also leave your service. No longer will I be defined by protecting a Renan Lord. From now on, when I fight to protect my dream. All I ask is that you do your part. That you fight alongside me. Not just for those who used to believe in your dream, but for those that still do. Dohalim.
I understand. I'm no longer a lord anyway.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger. All right, where to, team?
We make for Mahag Sar, the Valley of the Four Winds.
They're doing a lot of stopping on Rinwell. So I'm thinking that this next place we go to is going to be focused on Rinwell. Just on Rinwell's like story here. And finally, a new skill tree for Alphen. My lord, it's been too long. And now nothing again. He needs to cook a roasted chicken. Needs more NPC saving. Advance. Is it trying to just tell me to do? Okay. What I need to do... Yeah. I can't have two healers in there because they'll both be trying to spam healing and stuff. I have to be in control of one healer if I'm gonna be having them both in there. Most we just have Alphen still in there so he can get his flaming strike and other moves up while I'm not in control of him. So we're not gonna worry about Dohalim right now.
I'm amazed how easily you can move such a giant shield around like it's nothing.
Really? It's not actually as heavy as it looks.
It's really reassuring to have someone like you protecting us, though.
You know, I guess I never realized it before. But looking back, I've always been the sort to put myself in harm's way to protect those around me, even before I joined the Elderman and Sia Guard. So in a way, using this shield to keep you all safe feels like it's what I was meant to do.
You don't need to worry about protecting me. I don't plan on relying on you.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I don't protect people because they ask me to. I do it because I want to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. That goes for you too, Dohalim.
Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me.
What was Kelzalek even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renin than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense. Enough to drive him to revolt. even though doing so meant defying Renin hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Danans and Renins wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part, nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shion!
No, she is absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
How many times are we going to have Alphen look at Shion and be like, would you stop doing that? The gate's been unlocked, so you're free to go through if you want. But frankly, I wouldn't if I were you. The area leading up to the border is crawling with Zoogles. Hup hup. Everybody's working hard, and so will I. To think that the former guardsman, Miguel, was accused of an attempted assassination. But it turned out he, a Danan, was the loyal one? I'll have to work more diligently than ever to prove my loyalty toward Dohalim. That Danan Miguel was something else. You can get to the neighboring realm of Mahag-Zar from here, but it's supposed to be a treacherous path that crosses a steep mountain. There's a pond before you get there. People used to sneak by the Rand soldiers to go fishing over there. You know, I actually have a question. I know the other Tales of games have like cameo boss fights, where like you fight a certain character from another Tales of game. I think it's mostly like you duel the protagonists, or something like that. So I'm wondering, when we're gonna be doing that here. I wonder if that probably all unlocks in like New Game Plus, or, you know, before you beat the game.
I think Hoodle senses something.
Mahag-Zar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Nice pond.
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Alright. Wait, is that gonna take CP to do? Oh, that would be so dumb.
I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this.
Oh, this is...
I've got something.
Oh, I don't like it. Okay, hold on. Oh, I don't know about this, man. Okay. Well, I guess I just got you figured out.
It's not bad, per se.
You take your fishing pretty seriously.
Well, there you go. We'll stop it there for now. Fishing is probably going to need to be something I just do on my own
And
time.
that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
Oh boy.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
Maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Nice.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
Oh. Hey, you look like you know your way with a rod. I've been fishing a long time and have built up a good collection of equipment for it. I'll share it with you if you're interested. I just want one thing in exchange. All I ask that you show me records of any fish you catch. The more you catch, the more equipment I'll hook you up with. If you need anything, I'm always here. Don't be afraid to come up and talk with me. Oh boy. Oh, that said complete, I was about to say. KO prevention. Ah, we need that, most definitely. That would actually have her move faster. Tell me about fishing rods. Well, the fishing rod you use affects how much strength you got to reel it in. If you run into fish you just can't catch with your current rod, it's probably time for an upgrade. Show me records of catching a lot of fish and I'll hook you up with new rods. Lures are basically decoys made to look like food that you used to use. Well, lure fish into reel in. Each fish has its own preferences, so you have to change lures depending on what you're after. Whenever you find a new one, it's a good idea to test it and see what kinds of fish it works on. If it's a fish you've caught before, check your fishing notes. That'll remind you where the habitat is. When in doubt, it's always good to crack open your fishing notes. If it's a fish you haven't seen before, show me your fishing notes and we'll talk. You caught one kind of fish. Tucker Pond Road. Oversee here, fish. Why not swing by? 2 more to go, and I'll have something. Okay. So we got another thing triggered. Oh no, help him. Whoa, you're a lifesaver. Now I can get back to my miss. Sorry, I forgot I spoke. Carry on. Oh, hey. Is that better? Oh, it's actually... Wow.
I was amazed what healing arts can do.
What's with the interruptions?
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances.
Why did Rinwell say it like that? What?
Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it.
Why is it? What? Why? What is the ring wheel so triggered for?
I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy...
Do what I can within my modest means to help.
Great. Thanks for the warning of the new enemy types. Because that's probably what I'm gonna need to handle now.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, Law?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
I know what you're talking about, boy.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
Oh boy, I got a whole 2 hours to do these
Maintaining
people's
your
things.
shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay.
Very nice, very nice.
Before we go, do you guys have everything?
The chickens were like done real. What? Horses. Oh, I've gotta do horses at least once.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Yeah, he always just says
Hey.
that now.
What do you say we fight that shining enemy?
No.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed, we take action. Much like the Danans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Anything over here? We should try grabbing this, and then we're gonna accidentally get into a fight that I don't want to get into. Let's see if I can slip by. I don't even know how. What the shit? Are you gonna teach me another new battle mechanic? Okay. This is a pain. Why can't the Zoogle stand still?
All right.
Perhaps it's time I deploy my secret weapon. I'll stop it right where it stands. So his boost attack will just completely stop enemies.
There's nowhere to run from my heart. If he slows down, that's our chance.
Okay, his is like, is pretty good. It's better than Kisara's. Well. Now, come on, get the Mystic Heart.
You all on.